What's up, it's Marco, Sage of Soccer, and today I'll be talking about the US Men's National Team World Cup roster again. And I've been feeling a bit weirded out by this roster for a while, and I wanted to sleep on it, make sure I still had these feelings before I wanted to talk about it a bit deeper. But the more that I think about this roster, the more I just kind of question it. And I'm not even talking about things I personally disagree with, like Aaron Long, Christian Roldan, and Jordan Morris being in the team, John Brooks or P-Fuck being excluded. I can live with that because, it was telegraphed. We were clearly prepared to go into the World Cup without John Brooks or P-Fuck. We knew that Aaron Long was going to be the starter. He started the last 7 games for us. I disagree with that, and I think it's the wrong decision, but at least, I understand that's Berhalter's point of view. But when I look at this roster, I just look at the absences of Ricardo Pepi, Zack Steffen, and the inclusion of guys like Shaq Moore and Haji Wright and Team Ream. Not that I disagree with those decisions, but just the lack of consistency made up in this decision-making process. With Ricardo Pepi being left off the team, I'll be honest, I really don't have too much of a problem with it for this World Cup specifically. At the end of September, I said that I wanted Haji Wright in the team over Ricardo Pepi. I only changed that opinion recently due to Pepi's potential. I think head-to-head, they're just about equal, and I feel fine with us taking Haji Wright over Ricardo Pepi. This is not an issue with Haji Wright's quality. Why did Berhalter make this decision, is my question. Because Pepi's been in great form recently. He's torn up Eredivisie in the last month. Will that form continue? I don't know. But he's in amazing form. And he was in terrible form for an entire year before that. He finally got his first goal in 2022, recently. But he was on all of these previous rosters, except for June, where we gave him some time off, but then we recalled him to the team in September. If we dropped him in September, nobody would have an issue with him not making this roster. I mean, some people would, strictly because of his potential, but it'd be the same reason why, I'm upset that Gabriel Slonina is not on this team, but I'm not going to argue that Slonina deserves to be here based off quality. If we dropped Pepi in September, this would not be an issue. But we backed him through all of his terrible form, only to drop him the second he gets good again? Why now? What was the purpose behind dropping him now? And even his reasoning, we like Haji Wright's physical. Haji Wright's not a physical player. He has physical attributes, but that's not the strength of his game. He's more comparable than to Pepi. It was never Pepi or Jesus Ferreira before this. I don't get the rationale behind dropping Pepi. Again, listen, I don't disagree with the decision. It's just I don't understand why Berhalter made. And it's similar for Zack Steffen. Again, don't have a problem with him not being on the team. I would have left him off the squad altogether. And I completely understand it because he has not been good for the U.S. men's national team. He's been in mixed form for his club because he hardly played at Man City. But, again, why drop him now? You've invested so much time into playing Zack Steffen. You've started him a lot of times when he really should not have been starting. Why make this decision now? Because, like Ricardo Pepi, he's finally getting game time. And he's finally looking all right for Middlesbrough. Again, I've got Ethan Horvath over him. I've got Matt Turner over him. And I would have brought Gabriel Slonina. This is not Zack Steffen should be on the team. It's not that. It's why did you make this decision now? Why did you invest so much time into Steffen when he was playing worse than he's playing right now? And just that is the issue I have with this. It doesn't make sense. And while we're at it, he's not the only player like this. We could do this for a while. Why did Tim Ream just make the squad? I wanted him here, but what about our defenders having to be good in a high line? I thought that's why John Brooks wasn't called up during World Cup qualifying. What changed with Tim Ream? It wasn't, we didn't think he'd be good in World Cup qualifying. No, his one World Cup qualifying game, he did well. What is the decision that you made with Tim Ream now? That he's actually playing well in the Premier League? Because I think you'd be kind of stupid to judge him based off of that. But then again, when I look at Tim Ream's resume with the national team, we called him up when he was on the bench in the Premier League in 2021, ignored him when he was playing extremely well in the championship, and now we're recalling him now that he's in the Premier League again. Like, is that it? Because it feels like that's it. Like, I don't understand why he was dropped to begin with. Again, I don't have a problem that Tim Ream was dropped. I argued that Tim Ream should have been dropped. But why? Like, what changed with Tim Ream? How did he suddenly get better than Mark McKenzie and Eric Palmer-Brown in Gregg Berhalter's point of view? Like, because he was the same player back in June and back in September. Why give up on McKenzie and Eric Palmer-Brown now? Again, I don't think it's the wrong decision, but what is the rationale behind it? And does speed just not matter anymore for the back line? Because Zimmerman's slow, Aaron Long's lost a step or 2 or 12, and like, I like Cameron Carter-Vickers, but if we're going by Gregg Berhalter's logic, shouldn't Mark McKenzie be here? Like, what changed with his way of thinking? And Reggie Cannon as well. I don't have a problem with him not being here. I wouldn't have had him there. But why invest so much time in him just to ditch him at the last second for Shaq Moore? Like, why not give Joe Scally those minutes that he really needed to have with the national team? Why invest so much time in Reggie Cannon when nothing's changed with his style of play? He hasn't become a worse player in these last few months. Why did you invest so much time into him when you were just going to ditch him now? And same with Paul Arriola. Like, again, I do not have a problem with him not being here. I have openly said he should not have been recalled to the team after he failed to qualify for the World Cup in 2017. He should have never been recalled. But what changed now? Because if he was always your, like, what, 4th, 5th, 6th winger option, why even give him these opportunities? Why not try out a Matthew Hoppe in these situations? Like, why did you bring Arriola in for so long just to ditch him right now? Was he part of a really bad team culture? It looked like he was. Not that he would be like a locker room cancer or anything, but just him talking after the Jamaica game going like, oh, well, it was really hard to win in CONCACAF. Like, he never expected to win that one. Like, I could see that. And I wouldn't have a problem if that's the reason why we ditched Arriola. But why do it now? Why did we give him so much time? And listen, I don't like us calling up Aaron Long, Christian Roldan, and Jordan Morris. I would have liked John Brooks and Jordan Pefok to be here. But I understand that Berhalter made those decisions. And I think it's a huge mistake. And I won't even say I respect those decisions because I think it's him having too much of an ego to either change his style of play or deal with contrasting personalities. But I understand that's what he was going for. Like, I look at this Welsh team, and I can understand them wanting consistency, calling up, like, League 2 players and Johnny Williams and, like, a Chris Gunter. Like, I understand you wanting people there for culture. Again, like I said with Paul Arriola, I think the culture that we're setting has been worse since we integrated some of the veterans, but I understand the idea behind it. What I don't understand is giving these guys so much playing time and backing them when they're in terrible form just to ditch them as they finally start to get better and they finally, like why? I don't understand it. And I think there has to be, like, a lot of questions over Gregg Berhalter about this. Because, again, you ditch Ricardo Pepi in September, everybody's okay with it. Like, we could still argue we want to get this guy experience because he's a very good young player. Like, again, that's the Gabriel Slonina argument. And would I have Pepi there because of that? Yes. But I understand wanting to have, in Berhalter's opinion, the best squad. But I just don't understand this decision. I don't understand Gregg Berhalter. And I have to imagine the players don't as well. So it's a very interesting call by Berhalter. I'm hoping that it doesn't hurt the team too much. I don't think Pepi or Steffen would have been a starter for us. So, again, it shouldn't hurt us too much in the long term. But, man, Matt Turner could have used those extra reps. Josh Sargent could have used those extra reps, and you kept giving Pepi playing time. He kept giving Steffen playing time. We could have given Haji Wright a lot more minutes in June or called him up in September, make him more prepared for this situation, have him keep establishing chemistry with this squad. Like, every decision that he makes is just... I don't know. I feel like he's making this up as he goes. And I just kind of said this with Tim Ream, just not thinking about it, but, like, is it, like, actually he's calling up players based on the leagues they're in? Like, was it Pepi was in the MLS, so he was good. He moves to the Bundesliga, so he's good. Oh, he went to Netherlands, and that's outside of a top 5 league, so he's ditched all of a sudden? Like, because that seems like the logic. Like, I feel like Berhalter's making this up as he goes, I guess. And yeah, that's my problem with the roster. Yeah, I felt this before. I think I said this before. I just still don't understand the decisions that he's making. And I would really like somebody to actually drill him with questions about this because it doesn't make any sense. And yeah, so I'll talk right now. Hopefully things still go well for the World Cup. And yeah, see you.